Mercy is not denial, it is direction. When payback feels like wisdom. Some days, you can carry vision, make decisions, and keep your team steady. Then one person crosses a line, and your insides go hot. It might be personal. It might be professional. Sometimes it is both. A betrayal, a lie, a jab wrapped in a joke. Someone harms a person you love, and suddenly your leadership skills feel small compared to the ache in your chest. Payback rarely looks like cruelty at first. It shows up as being fair. It sounds like teaching a lesson. It convinces you that sharpness equals strength. And if you lead people, you can justify almost anything by calling it protection. 1 Thessalonians 5:15 does not debate the pain. It confronts your default response. Do not return harm with harm. Keep leaning toward what is good for the people close to you and the people who are not. Here is a first move you can actually take. Admit what you want to do before you do anything at all. I want them to feel embarrassed. I want to ice them out. I want to hit back with a sentence that stings. Say it to Jesus in plain words. Bring your real impulse into the light before it becomes your next email. Good does not happen on autopilot. The hidden cost of keeping score in your soul. Leaders can carry a private ledger. You track who has let you down, who has embarrassed you, who has drained you, who owes you. You do not call it a ledger. You call it being wise. You call it learning from patterns. And sometimes that is true. But the moment your wisdom turns into a running tab, your heart starts living like an accountant instead of a shepherd. This is where the verse presses deeper than behavior. When you repay wrong for wrong, you train your nervous system to stay on alert. You become quick to assume the worst. You start hearing offense in neutral statements. You find yourself replaying conversations while you brush your teeth, while you drive, while you sit in meetings. The other person may have moved on, but your mind keeps them in the room. There is also a quieter layer that leaders do not like to admit. When you cannot release what someone did, it is not only because they hurt you. Sometimes it is because you want to feel clean and you want them to feel guilty. If they suffer, you feel justified. That is sobering. But it is also honest. Mercy is not only about them. Mercy is also how God keeps you from becoming the kind of person you would grieve to be 5 years from now. If you want a practical step, stop feeding the ledger. When the replay starts, interrupt it with a simple sentence. I am not collecting a debt today. Then choose one constructive action, even if it is small, like scheduling a conversation, writing down facts, or stepping away for 10 minutes so your body can settle. Client conflict without contempt. Now put yourself in the empty conference room. The chairs sit perfectly aligned, but your stomach is not. Your laptop is open. A client sent a late-night email with your name in bold and your character in question. They copied people who did not need to be involved. They implied you missed commitments you did not miss. They framed their frustration like a verdict. You can feel your fingers wanting to type fast. You want to attach screenshots. You want to write a paragraph that cuts. You want to end the relationship in a way that makes them regret ever challenging you. You want to protect your team, and you also want to protect your pride. That mix is dangerous because it feels righteous and reactive at the same time. This is where 1 Thessalonians 5:15 becomes a leadership test you cannot outsource. You refuse to return the same energy. You choose a response that aims at good, not at payback. So you build your reply like a leader who expects their words to be read aloud. You start with what is true. You correct the inaccuracies without adding extra heat. You set a boundary about tone and communication. You propose a next step that lowers the temperature, like a call with an agenda instead of a thread full of assumptions. You protect your people by refusing to make them collateral damage in a client's frustration. You're not trying to win. You are trying to stay clean. Courtroom leadership. Clear standards, clean hands. If you need a metaphor that matches the moment, picture a courtroom. A healthy courtroom is not fueled by moods. It runs on truth, process, and measured response. Evidence matters. The goal is not revenge. The goal is a just outcome. And the people in the room can sense when the judge has a personal grudge. That is the leadership invitation here. You can hold standards without turning your authority into a weapon. You can confront wrongdoing without becoming the kind of person who punishes to feel better. When you operate this way, you stop improvising consequences in the moment, and you start leading with a consistent framework. In lived language, that might look like this. You describe what happened using concrete details. You state the expectation going forward. You explain the impact on the team, the client, or the mission. You choose consequences that fit the situation, not your adrenaline. You do not shame people in front of others. You do not recruit an audience. You do not twist the knife. You are not soft. You are steady. Forgiveness with boundaries. How to do good without getting run over. Some leaders hear "do good" and think it means keeping everyone close. Number. Doing good is not the same as giving unlimited access. Doing good does not mean you ignore patterns. Doing good does not mean you keep the same contract, the same role, or the same relational proximity when trust has been damaged. Forgiveness starts as a decision to release your right to get even. It does not require you to pretend everything is fine. It does not require you to hurry back to normal. It does require you to refuse bitterness as your long-term strategy. Here's a simple, concrete way to hold both mercy and wisdom. Ask, what boundary supports goodness? Then make it specific. Not vague, not emotional, specific. We will meet with a third person present. We will communicate in writing. We will revisit this partnership after 90 days. We will not talk about one another to the team. Boundaries like these turn your leadership from reactive to clear. And when you feel the inner pull toward punishment, return to the heart-level check. Is this consequence designed to protect people and invite growth? Or is it designed to satisfy my anger? Where faith and work meet, choosing good when it costs you. There is one more reason this passage lands with weight. You have needed mercy too. In your own way, you have been the person who talked too fast, judged too harshly, assumed too much, or walked away when staying would have been harder. You have lived moments you would not want broadcast on a screen. You have needed forgiveness that you did not earn. God did not deal with you by mirroring your worst day back at you. He moved toward you with mercy. That mercy does not only cover your past, it shapes your future. It teaches your hands what to do when you feel wronged and your mind starts crafting a comeback. So make this practical today. Choose one place where you feel tempted to get even. Write down what good looks like there in one sentence. Then take one step within 48 hours that lines up with that sentence, even if your emotions complain the whole way. Do not let someone else's sin write your next move.